Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. His two youngest daughters went missing, then his ex-wife.
The girls disappeared, but they have videos.
We want our dad to stop trying to control us and stop telling lies.
I believe my ex-wife and my daughter know where the girls are.
Do you know where they are?
What does his ex's brother know?
Your sister's gone missing and you don't report her missing.
Correct.
I believe that these girls did not disappear on their own. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
It's every parent's worst nightmare. Your two teenage daughters suddenly go missing. They vanish, disappear on a summer day, seemingly out of nowhere. A search begins. Their pictures are plastered on missing persons posters everywhere you look. That's what the distraught family of 15-year-old Sydney and 14-year-old Danielle have been going through for the past 157 days. But there may be more to this missing person story than meets the eye. The girls' parents, Brian and Michelle, have been divorced for 7 years, and the father, Brian, has full custody of Sydney and Danielle. As scheduled, Brian sent his daughters to Utah in May to visit their mother for the summer. But instead of returning to him, the girls vanished on July 11th, and a missing persons report was filed with police.
It is completely awful that I don't know where my two daughters are.
My angry sisters, Sydney and Danny, have been on my mind every day since they've gone missing.
As their uncle, I'm very worried about them. We have no idea where they're at.
I kept thinking that it was just one big bad dream and they were going to show up again. But after about a week and a month, it was obvious that they were gone.
It's real heartbreaking that they're not in a place of love and safety in a home with their family.
The first thing most people ask me is, how do you get through each day? And I don't know, actually. You wake up and you make a decision that you're going to face the day. And the rest of it's very hard.
The family just wants the girls home, and they're hoping by being here today on national television, someone out there will have information that can help find them.
My sisters ran away a week before they went missing. They were gone for only a few hours, but it was very traumatizing. And when they showed back up, they didn't want to talk about where they'd been. I can only assume that they were trying to make sure that if they ran away for good, that they had a place to go. The day they ran, I was taking them. Started to get out of the car. I knew what they were doing, and they were telling me, don't follow me. It's okay, don't follow me. And I started to kind of chase them by car, but they went to an area where it couldn't follow them. When they ran from the parking lot, that's the last time I talked with them, last time I saw them.
A short time after Sydney and Danny were missing, then Michelle disappeared too. I'm absolutely convinced that Michelle and her family know where the girls are. They are responsible for their disappearance.
So the girls go missing, and then the mother goes missing too. So what's going on here? As you just heard, Brian believes Michelle is behind all of this.
One night, Michelle just up and left. She took the girls in the middle of the night and checked into a women's shelter. She had revealed to me in like a fit of rage that she was going to take the children. She says I could look, but I would never find her. My response to that was I filed for divorce. It's been a real trash campaign ever since. There was a lot of one-sided abuse in the marriage. She'd call me names, put me down, tell the girls I don't love them, tell them I was a terrible person. She would provoke me into trying to have me shove her, push her, or even punch her. She broke my nose once. I never returned that abuse. She would brainwash them into thinking that I was not a good parent, that I didn't love them. After all the divorce issues were settled, I was given full custody of the girls. And I've had custody now for over 4 years.
Not only is Brian dealing with the stress of his missing teenagers, he is now in a battle with his oldest daughter, Brittany, who says Brian is overbearing, controlling, and abusive. When she turned 18 last year, she says she moved out of his house as fast as she could.
Ever since I was a little girl, there was always fighting going on. I thought it was normal to be afraid of my dad. It was like living with a ticking time bomb. I didn't know when the next explosion was going to occur. I definitely got used to seeing him do the same things to Sydney and Danny, whether it was pinching and twisting their skin, pulling hair, pushing them. He would treat my mom the same. He would always be yelling at her, calling her names. I remember one instance where I saw him trying to shove her down the stairs. He started saying things like, "Everything you remember is fake." I started to believe that remaining silent was the best thing to do. When my dad would say that I'd been brainwashed, I never doubted myself. After I moved out, I knew I needed to get custody of my sisters to spare them from a life of misery.
Okay, Brian, I'm sorry you're in this situation. Your girls are missing.
Yes.
And you haven't seen them in how long now?
I have not seen them since May 30th.
Okay, so it's been, wow, 7 months you haven't seen your girls. And how long since you have talked to your sisters?
Since July 17th. That was the day that they ran away.
Mm-hmm. You've had no contact with them since then?
No.
Do you know where they are?
No.
And you believe what? You think what has happened to these girls?
I believe that my ex-wife, and Brittany included, know where the girls are. I believe that they purposely have decided to take custody into their own hands. There was an appeal of the custody decision, and the mother learned that from the Supreme Court that she was not going to get custody back, and this was in March. The visit with the girls took place right after that. Mm-hmm. So I think when she got final legal word that there would be no custody agreement, I think she took matters in her own hands.
Mm-hmm. Now, how long has it been since you've seen and talked to your daughter Brittany?
About a year. It's been a year.
Yeah.
So
December of 2013.
Until right now?
Correct.
But you just walked out here and you hardly acknowledged her at all. Do you two not have any connection, any relationship at all?
We did once, but by Brittany's own choice, she cut us off.
Uh-huh. But you're the dad.
It's hard to know how to trust her. Mm-hmm. I feel very guarded.
Do you have animosity towards her?
No.
But yet you think she knows where your children are?
I'm convinced of that, yes.
Why do you think she knows?
Because Sydney and Danny are not the type to run away, and they haven't been seen anywhere. They have no contact with online, and so except for these videos that leak out now and again, they've been completely closed off from the rest of the world.
Okay, so they've disappeared, but they have sent videos.
Yeah.
They've posted videos somewhere or sent them?
That's what I'm understanding, and that's what Brittany says. Correct.
Okay, and you've seen the videos?
I've had people that have sent me copies, but they've not been sent directly to me.
But you've seen them?
I've had to search for them. And
because they sent me one today.
Okay.
We're going to all look at it together. I'm going to see it with you right now. Let's take a look at what they have to say about their situation. I'm seeing this with you right now because it came in minutes before I walked onto this stage.
Please, Dr. Phil, can you help us? We don't want any person in the courts or anyone connected with the courts to ever be able to make any kind of decision for us ever again. We want our dad to stop trying to control us and stop telling hurtful lies. We want our mom, stepmom, Brittany, and our little sister to be happy and safe. And we want our dad to be happy, get the help he needs, and stop always trying so hard to keep us from seeing our mom. We want him to know that we love him and will always forgive him for everything. We just can't ever live like that again. We think that our dad telling the truth is the only way to fix this and that he needs help to do this. What we want is for our mom to be able to make all legal decisions for us starting right now. Why is it that I can be old enough to choose to get a gun permit, get an abortion, get married, or drive a car and make other mature decisions, but I'm not old enough to choose which parent I want to live with? If we ever choose to see our dad again, we want this to be on our terms only. And if these things could happen, it would be like having Christmas for the rest of my life.
So what's your reaction to that?
How do they know that to contact your show if they're broken off from everybody? You know, if they don't have any contact with Brittany's uncle with their mom. How did they know about the show? The other thing is they're reading from a script, you know, a piece of paper. And the things that I know that Brittany couldn't possibly know is that's the same language that Michelle has used in the courts all these years. If Dad could only get help. I've heard that 1,000 times. And it just is very reminiscent. It doesn't sound like them. Not the true selves.
What's your reaction to that video?
They really want our family to just come together. They obviously are just really seeking help. I don't know, I miss them a lot.
There is one person who has the answers to how we got this video, Michelle's brother, Troy. He'll tell us after the break.
No one was listening to us, and we aren't coming back until we can live with our mom again.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, is her mom's boyfriend
My girls are in her home being molested.
a danger to her kids?
Have you touched these children?
No.
Every story
The 7-year-old wrote, I tell everyone Jason touched me, I get pony.
has two sides.
Did you coach these girls?
No, and I have never promised them a pony.
Who's telling the truth?
You are a drinker, a liar. She says you are a sex addict.
Tomorrow, then on Thursday, from news reporter to drunken mom.
I remember sleeping in a bush. She used to tell me to kill myself. Kill yourself?
You've missed a lot of this, haven't you? Get real, lady. You're a drunk.
That's Thursday.
A short period of time after Sydney and Danny disappeared, this package shows up with this little thumb drive. I put it in my computer, and it's videos of the girls that they had made.
I'm Sydney, and this is my sister.
I was shocked. All of a sudden, there's this communication from the girls. It was a message that they wanted people to hear.
We're just tired of not being heard.
I put that online, and we distributed it on the social media sites so that everybody could have a chance to listen to what it was that they had to say.
I just hope that someone is listening.
On July 11th, Brian's teenage daughters, Sydney and Danielle, ran away while visiting their mother, Michelle, for the summer. Now, 2 weeks after the girls were reported missing, Brian's ex-wife, Michelle, disappeared. It's my understanding no one has reported her missing. On October 3rd and again on November 3rd, Michelle's brother, Troy, mysteriously received a thumb drive on his doorstep. On the drive were videos from the girls explaining what happened. Take a look.
I'm Sydney, and this is my sister, and we have something important to say. We're not missing or lost. We're very safe, but we ran away because no one was listening to us, and we aren't coming back until we can live with our mom again. Our mom hasn't ever made us or tried to make us hate our dad. Our dad has so much hate for our mom. Mom is positive and kind, and the people fighting against what's good for us are making this whole problem happen, and we just want them to stop. So we're refusing to go back, and if anyone tries to make us, we will just keep running away until we can be safe again. And we just hope that someone is listening.
All right, Troy, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So you just got a thumb drive on your doorstep that had this video on it.
Correct.
Are those girls with Michelle?
Not that I know of.
Have you had any contact with Michelle?
No.
How is it you haven't reported her missing?
Well,
I mean, she's gone missing, right?
She is missing. It's not unusual for our communication as a family, for at least for me, to not talk to her for a number of months. So it's not particularly unusual for me not to have spoken with her. About 2.5 weeks after their girls went missing, I received a phone call from my sister in distress regarding the girls being missing, and she wasn't really sure what was going to happen and what she was going to do. But that was about 2.5 weeks after they went missing.
So how did I receive this video right before the show?
I'm not certain. I put it out on social media, and that's how you received it.
So your position is you don't know where she is, you don't know if the girls are with her, you've had no communication with her, she's gone missing and you don't report her missing.
Correct.
Because I find it hard to believe that you don't know that she's with the girls and that you wouldn't report her missing if she just went off the grid. Unless I knew that she was purposely off the grid with her daughters hiding, then I wouldn't. Doesn't logic tell you she's with the girls? Wouldn't you speculate she is?
I would speculate, but to say that we know their exact whereabouts and that we know that Michelle, that they're even together, we don't know. We really don't know.
If she has the girls, I mean, in violation of the court order, then that's a problem. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I think that's a problem. Here are some quotes taken from Sydney and Danny's YouTube videos. Quote, "Our dad has so much hate for our mom, and he's got other people to hate her too. We're refusing to go back, and if anyone tries to make us, we will just keep running away until we can be safe again. Our dad is abusive and terrifying at times. He's constantly lying, and people believe his lies. The only person brainwashing in this situation is Dad." How do you respond to that?
It's a 180. It's exactly the opposite of the actual situation.
Do you disagree?
I do. We know how he's treated us. We know how our mom's treated us. And it's as simple as that.
You say he's abusive.
I do.
In what way?
Emotionally. Always negative things about our mom, about us, saying that we're lying. Stuff that really hit home to our character and our self-esteem.
Mm-hmm. Did he say something to you about when you're going to be married?
I'm now engaged, and it's hard because I remember specific examples of him telling me I'm going to end up just like my mom. I'm going to get divorced. I'm never going to have a good relationship with my future husband. And that's not true.
Were you harsh with these girls?
No.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm beginning to piece some of this together, and I know that those girls are obviously somewhere they have electricity, because they're sending videos and they're sending emails, and I mean, this stuff is getting here, and as I say, I have a letter here, and so very likely they're going to watch this show, and this camera is spending a lot of time really close up on you, and they're looking at your face, they're looking in your eyes, and they're looking to see whether or not you're on here worried about your image or you're on here worried about them and getting them back. And I know what Brittany has said. According to her, she said you criticize the girls if they put their fork down wrong, if they shut the fridge wrong, that you made Brittany quit art classes that she loved, that you took the girls' phones and you compared records to see if they deleted texts, that you limited calls to their mom to 15 to 20 minutes a week, that you plugged cells-in chargers near your bedroom to control what was going on, that you set up cameras along the perimeter of the house, that you read their private journals, that you didn't allow the girls to hum, work of the devil, that you were very, very controlling of them, and that they reacted to that. And this is your current wife, Angie?
Yes.
You wanted to say something, Angie? Please.
These things are not true, Dr. Phil. This is my home that we're talking about. Okay, this is our home. We have had cameras around our house to keep our home safe. We had cameras around our house to keep our property safe. We did require the girls to put their phones in a central location at nighttime to charge them. Yes, this is true. And that's because we're good parents. We care about our kids. We don't want them up all hours of the night texting on their phone.
And Brittany should be the first to tell you that the charging place for phones was the kitchen. Mm-hmm. It was the furthest place from my bedroom. Mm-hmm. So, you know, twisting and distorting elements of good parenting into controlling and oppression.
With all these accusations about Brian coming from the girls and from Brittany, why then did the court give him full custody? You're going to find out why when we come back.
My mom drinks every day, all day.
Do you drive impaired with the children in the car? Now, don't put your head down. Stay with me here.
My life right now is working okay.
You're paying a guy to choke you to death in the woods. That's not working. She's posting that you killed your own baby.
Watch your mouth, okay? Hey, don't talk to me like that. Excuse me?
Plus, like father.
We caught Todd crushing and snorting pills in the bathroom.
Like daughter.
My daughter crushed the candy. Who told you how to do that?
Daddy?
I would never teach that to a child.
Is his wife real?
We've never met.
You're sending her $100,000.
Or a Nigerian love scam?
I know some things about Kelly you don't know. Her parents. They do not exist.
It all happens
What if this is a changing day in your life?
this February
So when she comes out of rehab and starts drinking, where's she get it? Me.
on Dr. Phil.
You have no idea how much I want to slap you right now.
Would compare my underwear, my bras, to Angie's. He would always say that I was making boys think bad thoughts. If I got a new pair of jeans, he would talk to me about how they showed my hips. It really made me feel like he was always watching me.
Brittany says she doesn't remember any sexual abuse while living with Brian, but what she does remember is feeling sexually offended. Now, Brian says what Brittany feels about their discussions is unfounded, and it's just another way Michelle has brainwashed her. Take a look.
Brittany says that I've abused my youngest daughter, and Sydney and Danny as well. She says that I put her in a lot of uncomfortable dialogue. The Department of Child and Family Services took those considerations seriously, and they physically examined the girls and determined they had not been sexually abused by anybody. I did everything I could to prove that I was not a threat to my girls. I took tests, I saw therapists, I spent enormous amounts of money. But in the end, nothing I did was good enough. Brittany loves the fact that she can say something horrible about another person. And hundreds, if not thousands of people say, "You are so brave. You are so wonderful." And she has no remorse for destroying my reputation as a parent, as a husband, as a father. She just seems to love the accolades that she gets, and the destruction that it causes doesn't seem to bother her one bit. I miss my daughters. I have no tolerance for abuse. And I would be the first one to endure myself in if there was any truth. To have them now say all these lies, painful doesn't describe it. It's a new form of betrayal I'm not familiar with. And it hurts more than I can express.
Are you being unfair to your father?
I don't think so.
Well, think about that. You said as small children he would violently shake and shove and slap and throw and wrench your skin and hit you in the head.
Yeah.
These are, these are serious accusations. Have you attempted to smear your father's reputation?
No.
Have you attempted to hurt his reputation?
I by no means want to hurt my dad's reputation.
Well, you've made public postings on a public blog of personal information about his psychosexual evaluation, court documents about their marriage, Facebook post. I mean, you've put it all out in public, critical things about him. What is your objective? If not to hurt his reputation, what is your objective?
My objective is to not only help my sisters, but to give the people who are involved in this a fair insight. I think the first story that came out from this through my dad's Facebook site was that these girls had been alienated by their mom. Yet I knew the years of things that my sisters had told me. And, I mean, if this was going to be a public thing, then the truth of my personal experiences with my dad needed to be posted as well.
I'm reading from the custody modification papers here. They described your mother as, quote, thinly veiled and hostile in her manner, that she was reluctant to cooperate with answering even simple questions. She had to be admonished to answer questions. Her demeanor was not cooperative or credible. The administrative director for Family Academy testified that 100% certainty that she had coached the children, that she refused to stick to the schedule that had been set out by the court, that coaching was emotional abuse. The court-appointed evaluator, this is another person, said she coaches the children. She is vehement and vindictive. She interfered with parent time. Her actions are not in the best interest of the children. The children are not well adjusted due to problems created by Michelle, that she created a wedge between Brian and his children. It said, I do not see any risk regarding Brian sexually abusing these girls. And the court-appointed custody evaluator testified fears of abuse are unfounded, and the children are hypervigilant about issues of sexual abuse due to behavior of the mother. It will be damaging to the children long-term to continue to believe that Brian would abuse them. And it just goes on. And you say, well, they were just all wrong. But were they? Because it now appears, don't know, but it certainly appears that she, in fact, has taken the children in violation of the court order and absconded with them. If your sister is with those girls, she needs to bring those girls back to family. People that have nothing to hide, hide nothing. Closed captioning provided by...
We already draw the line between the children running away for fear of their own safety and then, you know, the direction that people would like to place on Michelle.
Well, I draw the line when an adult, a parent, becomes involved in violating the law. There is a system, and you don't always get the result you want from the system, but you work the system. And I've looked at the videos of those girls, and those girls talk about the fact that they don't like what he said or the way that he said it, but they do not suggest that he molested them, abused them, physically injured them. They do not make allegations of imminent danger. So absent imminent danger, then I think you work the system. And I think when you go outside the system and take radical measures that fracture a family and take girls that, are they in school? Are they socially developing? Are they away from friends, family, support systems? All with a mother that has been labeled as coaching the children and not doing things in their best interest. And all of a sudden, I become very concerned for their well-being, and I would think every member of this family would do the same.
Absolutely. In fact, can I mention something?
Please.
Okay, so around middle September, when I had traveled back to Utah where they'd gone missing from, the idea came with the family that if they were scared to return back to their father, why not return to a place where he would be comfortable, at least, some of his family that they could return to. That was actually discussed, offered up to his brother and sister-in-law, and their response to me when that was discussed, thinking we could put that on social media, the girls could return, then this can all get sorted out via the channels that you were discussing through the court system. And Brian's answer was, did not want that to happen. He said it was out of his hands, it was completely up to the courts. Now, as the custodial parent, he's got the ability to make a lot of decisions there. So I don't know why we even got to that point. We shouldn't be here today. Those girls could have easily been back with his brother, and this could have all gotten sorted out through those legal channels you're talking about.
If your sister is with those girls, she needs to come in from the cold. She needs to bring those girls back to family, and things need to be transparent. People that have nothing to hide, hide nothing. So, you know, what's the point? And do I think this man is perfect? Do I think he's made perfect parenting decisions, perfect marital decisions, perfect partnering decisions? No, no, and no. Sorry.
Fair. No, fair.
And I'd say the same thing about myself. I'd say, you know, nobody's perfect in these things. But I'll tell you what, he has subjected himself to every manner of evaluation and monitoring and been transparent. And trust me, in this situation, there will be a high degree of transparency going forward. I mean, you're living in a glass house when you're in this kind of a custody situation. Absconding with these girls, if in fact that's what's done, I don't know if it has either, because she won't call me. I invited her to call, and I said, I won't trace you, I won't track you, I just want to talk to you. When we come back, I'm going to talk to the girl's maternal grandmother. Does she know anything about where these children are? This might be something she can reveal after the break. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Is her mom's boyfriend a danger to her kids?
The 7-year-old wrote, "Say Jason touched me, I get pony." Did you coach these girls?
No, and I've never promised them a pony.
That's tomorrow.
Closed captioning provided by...
I grew up in a household that was very strict. We had to watch the way we talked. We had to have our phones monitored. We weren't allowed to hum because he said that it was an uncontrollable habit of Satan. You could get upset over holding a fork the wrong way, shutting a door the wrong way. So breaking one of these rules could result in a tirade, and there could be yelling, and it could last 4 hours. The good times were very short-lived in comparison to how often we lived in fear of him.
Brittany believes that her teenage sisters, Sydney and Danielle, ran away 157 days ago to avoid living with their father because she says he is abusive and controlling. Now, Brittany has even tried to get custody of her sisters with the help of their maternal grandmother, Judy. Now, Judy is joining us via Polycom right now. Judy, thank you so much. I appreciate you being part of the show today, because I want to hear from everybody that has the ability to influence in any way whatsoever what happens with these girls. You've been listening the entire time, correct?
Yes, I have been.
What would you like to add based on what you've heard so far?
Well, first of all, I am very grateful for the ability for Brittany and Troy to be heard, because Brittany has an incredible story, and it's been very difficult for her to come out and tell this truth. Mm-hmm. Her father has basically disowned her for telling these truths, and it's been heartbreaking for her. His whole side of the family has disowned her. I want, of course, for my granddaughters to be safe.
Do you know where these girls are?
I have had no contact with them. I do not know where they are. I do not know where my daughter is. The last time I saw her, she was at my house, and she told me that she might have to leave for a long time.
Comment on this, if you would, because Brittany gave us a lot of information. She gave us some interesting information which she's posted on her blog. One of them was a journal entry written by her sisters saying that their mother is the abusive one. You gave us something where Sydney writes, "Mom is a liar and an abuser. Mom has brain emotional problems."
That's quotes of what my dad has said.
Mom joined a secret cult of women. That's... You know,
yeah. Sorry, I mean, that wasn't really described extensively on my blog, but that was the list of things that Sydney wrote out of what my dad had said to hurt her.
Right.
Sorry.
Do you say those things to her?
No.
Do you think that she has joined a cult?
I think that they've employed the use of an organization that helps hide kids.
Uh-huh. So you think that she's gone to some underground of people that believe there are abused children and convince them that you are in fact an abuser of children?
Right.
Minutes before the show started, I got a letter from her, an email that came in. What was in the email that Michelle sent me right before the show? Find out next. We can't do this show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we?
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
This is a letter that came in just this morning from Michelle that says, "Dear Brian, I would like to say a few heartfelt things to you. When someone believes they have to appear perfect at all cost, while at the same time there is a big problem, that person might start to feel as if they are in a pressure cooker. I worry about you in this circumstance right now because you have always felt such intense pressure to appear completely perfect to everyone around you. Brian, you don't have to appear to be perfect. I'm not perfect. No one can get through life without numerous challenges of various sorts, and even though your actions have been causing grief, my heart still goes out to you. You will always be my brother, and I never really felt like the problems you and I experienced were marital issues. I've just felt like a friend trying to help you, even after reaching a point where your actions began to continually prevent me from being able to have any contact with you. I don't believe that the lawyers or a few of the counselors you have encountered have done you any favors. And even though you may be in more of a hole with their help, it is nothing that a few very sincere changes can't get you back out of." And then she also includes about a 30-page document entitled Lethal Convergence. And it says it's written by Michelle. Everyone here, do you support these girls coming out of hiding and coming back into the open?
Absolutely.
Do you support that? Yes. Angie, do you support that?
Of course I do.
Judy, do you support that?
Well, only if they can be safe. And what does safe mean to them?
Well, do you believe that transparency adds safety to any child's life?
Yes.
And when a child is in hiding and in the grips of someone that is off the grid and has isolated someone from family and friends and a parent that has a legal right to them, then that certainly is not transparent. And I'm saying that that is not in these children's best interest. Certainly because of your being here and because of this now having such a bright light over it, you know that there's going to be a great deal of scrutiny, Brian, correct? You know there's going to be a great deal of transparency brought to this situation.
Yeah.
If you're too controlling, if you have problems with anger or rage or a need to dictate things and it's something you need help with, and I don't know that because I hear two different stories, then those are things that you need to get help with, and there will be transparency in this situation. But I can tell you that there's no transparency with these girls on the run. It is not in their best interest to live as fugitives.
I am 100% in agreement with the fact that they shouldn't live in hiding. They need to come out. But something needs to be worked out where they feel, safe enough to be able to do that, or else they're going to feel like they're going to be thrown, straight back where they don't feel safe.
Brittany, you know as well as I do, those girls had so many people they could have reached out to in Utah. There is no way they would have run, and there's no way no one would have seen them. There have been no leads. How does that happen?
I have a sneaking suspicion that these girls could probably make a pretty good case for seeing you at times as being over-controlling and overbearing and a little uptight.
I felt the same way about my parents until I was a parent.
Yeah.
And then I told them, hey, you guys actually did a great job and you kept me out of a lot of trouble.
And that may happen sometime in the future. But I'm just telling you that's maybe where these girls are at this point. And at some point, you hopefully may have the chance to have that dialogue with your two girls and maybe even have a chance to listen to them a little bit and lighten up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that...
We hope for that.
Yeah, maybe that would be timely and maybe that would happen. But I also believe that these girls did not disappear on their own. I think their mother was very involved in this. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by
Don't hide. Hide your cold sore while you treat it. New Carmex Cold Sore Treatment blocks pain and itch while making your cold sore less noticeable. Get your coupon now.
Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
I'm going to take this time at this point to address my comments to Michelle. As I said before, I want to talk to you. You need to come in. And I would like for you to talk to me and let me help you do that. According to the police, they are looking for you and the girls. Anyone that has seen you or the girls need to pick up the phone and call 866-660-4025. I can tell you that it is only getting worse, Michelle. The longer you stay gone, the more egregious it is. Come in. Get in touch with me. I will talk to you without in any way tricking, trapping, or tracing. I will just talk to you. I will try to influence you to come in, but I will not trick you or try to trace you anyway. I will just talk to you. If it was possible to bring fresh perspectives into this and get a new special master that these girls felt comfortable with, would you object to that?
Well, having just moved to a new state for a new job, I've been sending all these videos I get to the Department of Child and Family Services. Mm-hmm. I expect they're going to want to talk to the girls.
Sure.
And I just want the girls out of hiding. Mm-hmm. I would love for them to live with us again, but if they're going to absolutely refuse to do that, then the Department of Child and Family Services can help make that determination.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I want to thank all of my guests today. Again, if anyone has seen these girls, call 866-660-4025. Now, for more information about today's show, you can log on to drphil.com. Let's bring these girls home. Let's try and get this family healed. That's what it's all about. Thanks for being here. So long.